So as we go from question number one to number two, I wanted to first be normal. Let them know I care about them as a person, not just a real estate agent. And this is going to go wherever it goes. But about 20 to 25 minutes in, and after a while, I got really good at it. I could feel it. By the way, my phone is face down or in my car. Get your phone and push it away. You got to have all attention on the person you're talking to. So I normally just put it down just in case. I had a certain ring for my wife just in case something would happen. But have your phone down. All your focus is on them. So if we transition from getting to know them to a question, and it might seem like it's an abrupt U-turn or quick turn off of the conversation about them, but as you get better, you get more natural at it. So I would shift and say, I could talk about you all day. Or, man, this is really interesting, but I want to talk a little bit about the business side because I know that's why we are meeting. And the second question to shift there was this. This sounds like a silly question. I would say things like that. It sounds like a silly question, or it's something I'm curious about, or this is a question I ask someone to get to know more about them and their business. But this is the second question, okay? The second question. If you owned a mortgage bank, okay, if you are a mortgage, owner of a mortgage company, okay, for one day, what would you change? This question again is loaded. And I'm quickly going to find out everything they hate about their current lender. Because they're going to tell me everything that their lender's doing that they don't like, what they're experiencing. So you will get things like communication. I would tell every loan officer in my company, they got to communicate better. Second thing, you got to close on time. Got to close on time. They don't do enough for me as far as like helping me be more successful. I mean, and so on and so forth. You get so many different answers. And it kind of always boils down to 3 or 4. Communication, calls back, closing on time, the rapport with the loan officer, that they go above and beyond anyone else and kind of differentiate themselves. You get those kind of things. So over time, I developed answers to every question they had, or anything they had as the owner of the mortgage company, anything they had that they want to fix. I had answers to every one of those. Now, initially when I started this, I didn't. They would tell me things and I'm like, how would I do that? And sometimes in real time, it seems kind of fake. And I don't want to be fake. I want to be real. So if I don't know the answer to it, something that I would normally say is, if they would say, for example, communication, which we have answers for, but let's say that's the one. Communication. And in my head, I go, you know what? It doesn't feel right now to just go in and go, the way I communicate and kind of one up the person that she just was talking about. I'll say to them, hey, listen, that's a really big problem. Would you be cool if I thought about that for a little bit and thought of ways maybe I can differentiate myself from the competition? And I would literally that night go home and write up some business plan around the communication between that real estate agent and myself, and I deliver it the next day. Number one, it's another reason to go see them. And the second thing is, who's doing that? No one. No one's doing that. But as I got better and I got quicker at it, the problems usually are about the same. You could probably name them off the top of your head. And I had things after I said, listen, with the communication, with the closing on time, whatever it was, I would go through kind of what we do as a system, and that's what we do within the mortgage machine. We have answers to all those issues, but not just answers like elite answers. We want to completely separate ourselves from everyone else. But those little things, those are things that average loan officers do. These are things, honestly, at the end of the day, the stuff they would say, these are things that I'm really not even approaching you as a real estate agent unless we are elite at the problems you have with your loan officer. So the second question of, you're the president or the owner of a mortgage bank, and what are the problems? What would you fix as that owner? It's a quick way to get to the root of all the stuff that really irritates them about their loan officer or who they work with, without having to dive in personally with who that person is, or have to spend 3 or 4 meetings to get to that point.